water, the planet. It's sort of all interconnected. It's all one big round blob. We have got a big problem though. Fossil shit. Yes, rather a lot of it. I think an empty fossil shit container in the hedge is a good place for it personally. So, vehicle to grid. Well, yeah, it is almost quite simple. Basically, you just have solar and wind and tidal flow, let's say, or hydro. You can get a lot of energy from the rain, actually, strangely enough, and wind and geothermal. Yeah. You combine all those and you'd have more energy than you would need. But we're owned. No, not by passports. No, I'm British. I'm rich, apparently. And I live in Wales, damp little Wales, and I'm owned. Now, cuddly toys, they're not. They're sort of global, aren't they, really? Passports. I've got a passport that says I'm British. You may have a passport saying you're Bangladesh. You might have a passport saying you're African or American. Or even better still, everybody wants to bake in Australia. Not quite sure why. Because they got cuddly koala bears, maybe. But humans, in passports, and yeah, it's strange because our toxic fuel guys, you know, the oil companies and the bankers, are sort of international. They sort of be able to do anything they really want to do. Memes. But this could fool them a little bit. Bunnies. They're not expecting it to come from a pink bunny, are they? I'm not either, actually, to be honest. This one needs a person in it, I think. That's just some of the detritus I've picked up from the street. Small, micro, mini particles. Can't see them, so they don't really count. They come from lots of variety of sources. Cigarette butts. Cigarette butts are pretty worthless, but I picked these up and I've made them into a little human being. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. It's going to be part of the upside down pyramid. Yes, each one's signed and dated. That means completely, absolutely nothing. But that's the funny thing, isn't it, really? What is life? That's, Hogwarts. Was he? Can't remember what he was, actually. Hockey player. No, he wasn't a hockey player. Oh, anyway, I found it in the bin, anyway. Found that in the bin. That's a Pringle packet. Yeah, so vehicle to grid. Well, I suppose the interesting thing about it is that it's about empowerment. And that's what Big Toxic is not really going to like. It's about empowerment, making energy from the sun, making energy from the wind, making energy from water, thermal energy, ground source heat pumps, the greening of the whole of London, so London produces all its own food and all its own energy. Now, to do that, I'll finish off Toxic Boys. And they are in charge. They don't really have passports. They're everywhere. They're international. So are we. The future is about human beings around planet Earth and us getting all together and talking. Because we've got appropriate technology, but we've also got people giving us fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That has to end, and has to end very, very quickly. So I'm buzzofftoxic. Yes, I'm doing an upside-down pyramid, making cigarette butts worth the Earth, worth the universe. Because we can invent and we can rebuild this planet, but we have got a cartel in charge. The oil companies, the bankers. They're in charge of us. They belittle us. They've used divide and rule for a long time. I think even a lot of them will leave the sinking ship because the old system is dying. Vehicle to grid will finish it off. Basically, you produce energy at home, you share it with your community, you share it with your car. There won't be money to be made up, but we're all better off, and everybody will have healthcare, power. Because when you have power and healthcare and no war, we've done war. War was so lost through a couple of 1,000 years. Human beings are better than that. We can run our planet peacefully and civilized. So join us. Conscience Land, Buzzofftoxic, Change Wednesday, Greta Thunberg, Fridays for the Future, Greenpeace, Friends of the Earth, People's Assemblies, Extinction Rebellion. It's all happening. I am part of the solution. You're part of the solution. You could be empowered. Bumped into a girl when I put up the Sustainies the other day, actually. And she said, well, of course, they will do something. They are doing something, aren't they? And I said, why aren't you doing it? Said, oh, I'm just, I'm powerless. I can't do anything. And I said, no, that's what they want you to think. You're not powerless. In fact, actually, I think you are thinking about it. You should be in power. And she looked at me and something clicked. I could see it in her face. Because she'd been belittled by men all her life and then told, well, you've got a passport, boomf, you've got numbers, boomf, 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 and then you do what you're told by some kind of patriarchal system that really doesn't know what it's doing. And I think she knows that. She will stand up and become Prime Minister, possibly. But she woke up. So anyway, it's just about us now all waking up and non-profit leadership. So if you're a leader, go out there, and you are. Okay, love you all. Bye. That's a broadcast brought to you by Big Buzz.